Welcome everybody to a Khan Academy tutorial. We're going to do identify composite functions. The first problem says a composite function can be written as w of u of x. And that's how you say that when you have all these parentheses. It's w of u of x, where u and w are basic functions. Well, that's kind of mean. Anyway, is h of x equals x squared plus 3x, the quantity x squared plus 3x plus 2, quantity to the fifth power, a composite function? If so, what are the inner and outer functions? Okay, now when you're looking at this right here, okay, up here, this parenthesis, we have w, and I'm going to change color here, of, and then we have u of x. If you remember when we had like f of x, a function of x, what we would do is plug in something for x. So we would plug in here, and then we would get a result after we plug in whatever value. So for example, f of 2, if you plug that into, let's say, the function x squared, you'd plug in 2 in for x, and then you'd get your result, okay, which would be 4. Now what we're saying is you have to do it again, okay, because this is the inner function. You get your result, and then you plug it into the outer function. So this is just identifying which one is the inner and which one is the outer. Now it says here h is composite. For option A, the inner function is x squared plus 3x plus 2, and the outer function is x to the fifth power. That would make sense because notice how we have our inner function here. Oops, wrong color. Our inner function here. Okay, that could be, for example, we could call that, I'm not sure, we could call it j of x would be equal to x squared plus 3x plus 2. Now we could have the next function, we could call that k of x. K of x is equal to x to the fifth. So what we did is all we did was plug this in for x and raised it to the fifth power, essentially, okay? So our inner function is the x squared plus 3x plus 2, and our outer function is the x to the fifth power, because that's what we plugged in. So we're going to say option A is our answer, and there we go. A composite function can be written as w, okay, so it's just saying the composite functions, given an idea of what that is. Is f of x equals sine of x, 2x plus 3, a composite function? If so, what are u and w? This one's a little bit more complicated, but it looks like it's just doing some multiplication here. So we have is f of x equals sine of x times 2x plus 3. So because this isn't sine of something, okay, normally it would be like sine of, if we were to input inner function, it would be 2x plus 3. But this is saying sine of x times, that's an implied times there, 2x plus 3. So that's really not a composite function because it's not being substituted. The two options are sine of x is one of the functions. Oh, it's not even saying which one's the inner and outer. So this is not a composite function. All right, next one. A composite function can be written, okay, gives us the background again. Is h of x equals x minus 8 over e to the x a composite function? If so, what are the inner and outer functions? Okay, this one's a little bit more complicated. So inner function is e of x, and the outer function is x minus 8. We have h of x is composite, the inner function is x minus 8, and the outer function is e of x. This one does not appear to be a composite function because we don't have parentheses, one affecting the other. Like our first one, we had two things going on. We had that 2x, was it 5x squared plus 2x plus 2 raised to the fifth power. So we had two separate functions going on. I'm not so sure this one is happening the same way because we're not plugging in something for x. We have basically an x here and an x there, two different x's in different little spots where there's not parentheses being affected. I don't think this is composite. All right, next one. We have a composite function can be written. Okay, gives us background. A composite. Is this one a composite function? If so, what are u and w? Okay. This one does not appear to be another composite function. We don't have, if this were a composite function, you'd have something like ln of square root of x. See how there's like two things happening together? We have the natural log being taken, and then we have, that'd be the outer function, and then we have an inner function of this. This one's dividing. So it's like two different functions. It's not one within the other one. So I'm kind of disappointed with these examples because we didn't have a lot of composite functions. But that's the story. You want to look for ones that have those two parentheses, and those will be your composite functions. But hopefully you learned something about composite functions. This wasn't the greatest example, but I hope you learned at least a little bit something and you enjoyed this video. I look forward to seeing you next time.